made on September the 6th, 1996, concerning my boyhood days. I was born September the 1st, 1916. I'm now 80 years old. I remember talking mostly about the Depression this morning. The Depression hit, as many people recall, in 1930. The great crash came, Wall Street, stock market, everything came to a standstill. Hard times they were. But as I remember, we didn't have any money. Nobody had money. Our neighbors, everybody was in the same boat in that day. But we ate well. Oh my goodness, we ate better, I'm sure, than George Washington ate in his day. But we produced most of it. We grew most of it. And therefore, we had plenty to eat. I remember my mother would can up to many as 400 and 500 quarts of fruit. We had peach trees. She would can peaches. She would also make jams and jellies. Wild blackberries grew everywhere. And they were available. All we had to do is go pick those berries. We also had apple trees. She'd make apple butter, canned apples, dried peaches. And we grew most of our vegetables. We had a big garden. And we grew a lot of vegetables. And in the wintertime, getting ready for winter, we would copy after the squirrels. We would put hills of potatoes in a garden and cover them up with dirt, a big mound, and they would keep nicely. Also turnips. We'd pile them in a big pile and cover them with dirt, hill them up, and they stayed fresh all winter long. We grew all kinds of beans. We had dried beans, peas. In that day, whippoorwill peas were very, very sought after. People admired the taste of them. And we would grow those whippoorwill peas, and also purple hull and black-eyed peas. And then we would take corn to Harrisburg and get it ground into meal, and we'd have a lot of meal. Now, we had all kinds of meats in that day. My dad usually would put up about from 3 to 5 hogs, and we would fatten them out, feed them corn. Corn-fed gave them a good flavor, the meat a good flavor. And I always dreaded hog killing day. It had to be a day of cold weather. I've seen my daddy get ready to kill the next morning. Maybe it warmed up during the night, and he'd put it off for a little while longer. We didn't want the meat to spoil. But I remember getting ready for killing hogs the next day, and it was a chore. We would get up before daylight and have about 3 big black kettles full of water and build big hot fires around them and that water boiling. Then my daddy would take a .22 rifle and he would kill the hogs. We dragged them up and had a big barrel. We'd put that hot water into a barrel, and then we would plunge the whole hog, get down into that hot water. And scrape and pull and slosh around, and then all of the hair would slip off of that hog. We'd pull him out, put him on a table like we had built for it, and take a scraper and just scrape all the hair off the hog. And then we would hang that hog up by its hind feet, the carcass. And there we would proceed to go further, disembowel the hog, and then we would take fresh cold water and pour over the carcass as it hung there. Then we had a big table. We put the hog on the table, and my dad was an expert at cutting up a hog. He'd first start at the head, take the head off, and he would cut that head in half. And later on, he would cook the head, maybe with beans and potatoes and so on. It was always good eating. And we'd get the fresh brains out of the hog's head. And brains and eggs cooked together was a delicious meal. We all enjoyed it. Then he cut the hams out and the shoulders. Cut the feet off. We even kept the feet for good eating. And in other words, we ate all of the hog, I would say, but the squeal. We didn't eat the squeal. But anyway, it was real good eating. Then I've seen my dad had a big wooden box. He put a layer of salt down in the box. Then he'd take the side of the hog, the middling as it's called, and he would lay it out on top of that salt. Then he'd put another layer of salt on that middling, and another middling of meat, and on till he had a big box full covered up with salt, and the salt preserved the meat. It also salt the hams and so on. And then later on in the year, we had a big smokehouse all people had in that day. We would hang the middlings up across a rafter, hanging up there, hams, shoulders, and so on. As a little boy, it kept me busy. I had to get hickory wood and burn it in there, which give the meat a hickory flavor. That was really, really good. And that meat would last us just about the whole year.